I can't explain it any better apart from that I literally cut my thumb off.
They gave her something so strong that she literally passed out, and she at one point even stopped breathing. And then I could see like the panic in their eyes. Yeah, that was literally probably the worst day of my life.
So first of all, if you remember from our last video, we had to remove so many trees off the property because the majority of them were dead or they were way too close to the house. And at first we were quite overwhelmed with it all. We had no idea what to expect and if we would even like having removed so many trees or how the property would look and feel. But we had been living like this for quite some time now, and I must say that I actually really enjoy it.
So much better. I was also really nervous about making that decision because you just can't get them back once they are cut. And it was also quite short notice for these guys to come to cut them. But I do think we made all the right decisions. And every day when we go outside now, we say, you know what, we just love it. Every single tree that we left or kept is just really well positioned and just beautiful. And now it's so much more space there.
Yeah. And I also feel like the house gets so much more light because the sun rises, what's this, west? This side?
East.
East. The sun rises on the east and we pretty much get sunlight all day now on this side of the house, which we didn't before. So I feel like that's also a plus.
But I honestly never expected that it's going to be that much work. It was just a nightmare, and I can't imagine how we would have done it without the help of our neighbor with his wheel loader. It would literally have took us weeks. I'm also really happy that he took all the wood, because even though it would be nice having a lot of logs to burn for the next years, but like I wouldn't know where we would store all the wood.
Yeah, we don't have the place to put them yet, and they need to dry, which also, like, we don't have the right facilities for them to all be dried here.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to cut a tree down anytime soon.
Oh.
It's so much work.
I was so happy getting my chainsaw, and now it just makes me happy if I don't have to touch it.
Yeah.
And I also didn't expect it, to be honest. How many trees?
It only looked like a couple when you said like, oh, this one's dead, this one says, we were like counting it. We were like, okay, it's just a few.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of work even just for these few trees. So the only problem that I had whilst we were cutting down the trees is that I've had a bad experience in the past with gardening. One day last year we were actually doing some gardening and I was using like an electrical clipper to cut branches and it worked very well, and I hadn't looked and I was holding the branch with my hand, and as I snipped, it's so difficult to talk about. I can't explain it any better apart from that I literally cut my thumb off. It's okay to talk about it now, but at the time it was extremely scary. It felt like I was very calm at the time, but I'm not sure if it looked like that.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, he was quite in a shock.
Yeah, I was very much in shock. I had cut all the way through, and if you are a bit squeamish, you can skip past this point, but I had cut through the bone, the arteries, the tendon, and the thumb was hanging on just by a little piece of skin, pretty much. And then I came to you and...
Yeah, that was literally probably the worst day of my life.
Yeah, me too.
I really thought before I gave you this clipper, like, I knew it's dangerous.
But it's not your fault, and nobody could have, these accidents can happen anytime, and I do believe that I was a little bit under cautious, and I'm very over cautious now.
It was literally, I think it was exactly like a year ago now, and if I look back, it literally feels like it never happened. It was just like a nightmare, that dream. But I remember so well when you came to me and you was just like, you had gardening gloves on and it just came to me like that. And I thought, oh, she like cut herself, she needs a plaster or something. And then I looked, and then, yeah, you could literally see like the bones sticking out. And I thought, now we do have a problem. And so I straight away called the ambulance. at that time, my brother and my dad were also helping us in the garden. So my dad came out, wanted to ask me something. He had no idea what just happened. I just had to explain that to him. I was on the phone with the ambulance. I was shouting my brother to get the emergency kit. And at the same time, he was quite upset,
Yeah.
obviously, in
Yeah.
shock. So I had to talk to like 3 people, 1 English, like
3 German.
3 German. It was very stressful. And luckily, the ambulance was there within, I think, 4 minutes. They were really quick because it's like a little town.
I mean, it felt like forever to me, but I promised myself at that moment that I would not look at my thumb, because I knew if I looked that I would feel everything. And at this point I was in so much shock that I actually felt nothing. And that's one thing that kind of amazes me about the human body. Like, a paper cut will hurt so much and sting for days and days and days, and I just cut my whole thumb off and I felt nothing. I was in so much shock. And then I got put in the ambulance, and that's when the doctors kind of assumed that I was going to start feeling things, because they realized they needed to take me to a specialist. What? No?
Different. The doctors said it's fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when he was in the ambulance, the doctors tried to get in contact with the closest hospitals to check out who's available and who can do that. So that took a couple of minutes, and then they found one that was like 45 minutes away. And then they ask you if you're in pain. And obviously you said, no, not really. And then they said, okay, then you don't need a painkiller. And I was like, but it's a 45-minute drive, right?
Yeah.
And they say, yeah. But what if the shock goes, because it will go soon?
The adrenaline goes down, yeah.
So we did insist for them to give you a painkiller, which I wasn't aware that they can't do it themselves. They had to get a special doctor for that. So we had to wait another like 15 minutes there.
And at that point, I felt like I had traveled back into time, into history, because this elderly doctor turns up, and I swear I remember that he was wearing like a black trench coat, and he literally had a leather briefcase like a medieval 1800 doctor.
Yeah.
And he gave me something that literally I had never had something so strong before.
Yeah, I would say that was the next shock for both of us, because they gave her something so strong that she literally passed out. And she at one point even stopped breathing. And then I could see like the panic in their eyes, like, we need to do something right now. And that was just awful to watch. I literally get goosebumps when I think back.
Yeah,
seeing you there and they panicking and trying to like
realive me.
Yeah, kind of realive. Like, it was just awful.
And I just remember coming in and out of consciousness, and I felt like I was fighting. Like, it was really hard to keep breathing, and my body was in like such a state of relaxation. All my muscles had like relaxed past the point they should have, which I think is the reason that my breath had slowed so much. I feel like the only way that I coped with it was just accepting in that moment that no matter what I do, my life could change forever now. Because like, when we actually got to the hospital, the doctors there were incredible, and they kind of said very clearly to me from the get-go that, you know, your thumb might not reattach, it might not get accepted again. And without your thumb, you just can't do anything. You can't pick up a cup, a teacup, a glass, a bottle. You can't get dressed.
And you also thought about your modeling jobs. That was the first thing you said, like, I can never model again now.
Yeah, I did believe that that was my career over for my modeling, and also for anything else that we do. You really quickly have to think through all of that in your head, and I was going through such emotional waves because they led me in the hospital and they didn't have time straight away to do the surgery, so I think I had to wait for over an hour.
It was a couple of hours in the end, actually.
Yeah, and for me, everything felt like time had stopped.
Yeah.
And I was just led there, and in a room where it just was white walls, there was no one else there, and it was just me with my thoughts and with you, and I just had to go through the whole process in my head, like, okay, if it doesn't reattach, I have to accept that I might never work again, that I can never be myself again, or, you know.
And I tried to give you hope and like tell you that it will be fine. And then in the back of my head, I also thought about a friend of mine who a couple of years earlier has also cut the finger off. They have put it back on, and a couple of days later, he lost it again. And that's what I always had in my mind, that like no matter how well it looks before or after the surgery,
It's a long journey.
it's a long journey.
And for me, all I was thinking about at the time was an old riding teacher I had. He lived in Belgium at the time, and he'd moved back to the UK because he'd gotten pretty severe cancer. And at first they thought it was stomach cancer, so they removed his whole stomach, and then they found out it was bowel cancer. So he had no stomach and bowel cancer. That year, the doctors told him to stay inside, rest, not ride anymore, and he just refused. He bought 2 horses, moved to my stables, and started training me and riding, and all with like an outside bag, I can't remember what it's called. And I watched him through the worst phases of his cancer treatment, and after a year he had fully recovered and like managed to come back to normal life. I only believe that he recovered so much because of his mental state and because he believed he would. And I think you in that moment giving me so much hope was the only thing that mentally stabilized me and kept me going through that, because I feel like I would have been a lot more of a wreck without your help.
But luckily, and that's something I'm so grateful for, is they've put us in a really good hospital.
Yes.
It's like a university hospital. And they also had a special hand surgeon there. They did just an amazing job, and I'm so, so grateful for that.
It was one of the worst experiences of my life, obviously cutting your thumb off, but also one of my best experiences and bravest experiences. And it kind of made me realize how much stronger we are than we think.
And I actually can't believe how well it turned out now. I mean, it literally took you like a year. I would say that it's kind of back to normal, right?
Now I'm in a position where I can use this hand completely. I feel like the tendons are the problem that took so long to recover, so I feel like I still have a very limited range of movement. I can't bend my thumb as fully as this one. I think I even went back to work after like 3 months.
It was literally doing your first camera job again after, I think, 2 months.
Yeah, I picked
With
up a camera.
one hand, the other one in the car still.
Yeah. That
was
really
quite
fun.
impressive. But it was a very, very scary experience, and it was just really traumatizing. It literally took both of us months where we had flashbacks and nightmares about it.
Yeah.
But we really couldn't be more grateful for how it turned out.
And there are times now, like when I'm doing the gardening with the trees, that I think back to it. That's what makes me super cautious, and I feel like that trauma will take a long time to go before you start trusting yourself again.
And one thing I'm really proud of is that you just managed the first time to use a clipper again.
Yeah.
So that was a really big step.
And I feel like I must look like a child now when I'm clipping, because I make sure I'm really far away and that I'm using both hands. But it could have been a lot worse. I could have lost my thumb, and funnily enough, I think not long after I did my first hand modeling job, which is really fun because I just had surgery on my hand, and a year later I'm doing a modeling job for hands, so I felt like that was a real big step and really exciting for me. But anyway, back to what we've been doing at the house, and
Such a quick cut.
moving on. That was quite the emotional roller coaster, but anyway, we have some very good things going on right now.
So now we kind of have a nice foundation to get a nice garden. So I do think that will be one of the next big steps that we have to do. And I don't really know how we do it yet. I do feel like my brother and my mom, they have offered us some help. So maybe that might be a good project to get them over here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we should focus on the house because it is important, but at the same time, it's midsummer, you really want to be outside, it's so beautiful here, and I just have kind of the bug for it now. I feel like now I can see the finish and I can see like the garden patches and where the pathways will go, and I'm starting to like envision it, so I feel like it just needs to happen.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
We got rid of the bushes that were going around the front of the property here, around the actual outside of the house, and it made such a massive difference because the house looks so much bigger now, so much more open. So I feel like these final little touches will just make it better and better and better.
Yeah.
What would you be excited about to get done outside?
I think I would be the most excited to get the lawn done, because right now it's
You like
just...
mowing?
Yeah, I do love the mowing, to be honest. And I felt stupid that over the last months, before we even cut everything down, I was already spreading all the seeds out and trying to make it nice. And now it's just a huge mess anyway. But that's something I really look forward to. I think it will look a lot more complete.
Yeah, I'm really excited about doing a really nice patio because at the minute we're just doing like barbecues under the magnolia.
Yeah.
But I think we really like spending so much time outside here that if we have such a nice patio where you can sit down and watch the forest or the garden, that we will really love sitting down outside and spending time there.
And that's again the thing, that we like have so many projects and so many priorities and so many things we would like to get done, but we just can't always do everything at once. So that is something that I'm personally really struggling with, to really prioritize and see it in a realistic way, what's necessary now and what isn't.
I mean, we are very excited for all of that, but what we do know is we are quite far away from all of that happening yet. We are excited, but we are also a bit nervous because we are still very, very, very busy this year. So we are hoping that we will get it all done, and we are hoping that you will enjoy watching us through the process and that we do a good job. But for now, that's it. So we will keep you guys updated in the next videos. So hopefully you'll join us for more. Don't look at me so awkwardly, you're like...